We all need to breathe. All life on this planet needs oxygen to live. Without oxygen, there's no life. According to the Bible, God Himself breathed life into Adam. Different levels of oxygen at different altitudes and in different realms of existence bring about different life forms. It is a healer and a killer. Too much can kill in the same way that too little can. Today, people across the globe are undertaking oxygen therapy in hyperbaric chambers. All manner of claims are being made for its use: a cure for cancer, improved sporting ability, and increased mental capacity. But what is the truth? We are about to learn the history, good and bad, of oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for almost all life forms on this planet. However, that was not always the case. Early in Earth's prehistory, the atmosphere had little oxygen, almost none at all. Microbes that produce food via photosynthesis produced oxygen as a byproduct, a kind of beneficial waste matter. The microbes, using photosynthesis, eventually produced enough of the byproduct, oxygen, to drastically change the environment and therefore the entire history of the planet. Oxygen is critical for the respiration of most animals on the planet. It is literally the very air that we breathe. Oxygen is one of the basic chemical elements and is Earth's most abundant element. It is the third most abundant element in the universe after hydrogen and helium. In its most common form, oxygen is a colorless gas found in air. About 1/2 of the Earth's crust is made up of chemical compounds containing oxygen, and 1/5 of the Earth's atmosphere is currently made up of oxygen gas. The human body is about 2/3 oxygen. 2 atoms of oxygen bind to form dioxygen, a colorless and odorless diatomic gas with the formula O2. Dioxygen provides the energy released in combustion and aerobic respiration. Many major classes of organic molecules in living organisms contain oxygen atoms, such as proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates, and fats. The same can be said of the major constituent inorganic compounds of animal shells, teeth, and bone. Most of the mass of living organisms is made of oxygen in the form of water. Oxygen is continuously replenished in Earth's atmosphere by using the energy of sunlight to produce oxygen from water and carbon dioxide in the process called photosynthesis. Oxygen is chemically reactive and therefore cannot remain a free element in air without being continuously replenished by the photosynthetic action of living organisms. Another form of oxygen, ozone, called O3, absorbs ultraviolet UVB radiation. The high-altitude ozone layer helps protect the biosphere from ultraviolet radiation from the sun. However, ozone present at the surface is made up of primary particulate matter, such as pollen and dust, and secondary particulate matter such as sulfur oxides, volatile organic compounds, nitrogen oxides, and ammonia gas, and is therefore a pollutant. Hypoxia refers to low oxygen conditions. In water, oxygen levels are much lower, approximately 7 parts per meter, or 0.0007% in good quality water, and fluctuate depending on the presence of photosynthetic organisms and relative distance to the surface. Scientists estimate that 50 to 80% of the oxygen production on Earth comes from the ocean. The majority of this production is from oceanic plankton, drifting plants, algae, and some bacteria that can photosynthesize. It's important to remember that although the ocean produces at least 50% of the oxygen on Earth, roughly the same amount is consumed by marine life. Like animals on land, marine animals use oxygen to breathe, and both plants and animals use oxygen for cellular respiration. Oxygen is also consumed when dead plants and animals decay in the ocean. This is a particular problem when algal blooms die and the decomposition process uses oxygen faster than it can be replenished. This can create areas of extreme low oxygen concentrations. The areas of extreme oxygen deficiency are often known as dead zones because the oxygen levels are too low to marine life. Oxygen depletion is a phenomenon that occurs in aquatic environments as dissolved oxygen, which is molecular oxygen dissolved in the water. This becomes reduced in concentration to a point where it becomes impossible for aquatic organisms to live in the water. Most fish cannot live below 30% saturation since they rely on oxygen for chemical energy. An adult human at rest inhales 1.8 to 2.4 grams of oxygen per minute. This amounts to more than 6 billion tons of oxygen inhaled by humanity per year. Variations in atmospheric oxygen concentration have shaped past climates. When oxygen declined, atmospheric density dropped, which in turn increased surface evaporation, causing precipitation increases and warmer temperatures. At the current rate of photosynthesis, it would take about 2,000 years to regenerate the entire O2 in the present atmosphere. Hence our current activities on planet Earth, causing global warming and destroying huge swaths of forest, are in fact going to do nothing more than starve us out of the very breath of life. $100 million tons of O2 are extracted from air for industrial uses annually. Oxygen storage methods include high-pressure oxygen tanks, cryogenics, and chemical compounds. For reasons of economy, oxygen is often transported in bulk as a liquid in specially insulated tankers. Uptake of O2 from the air is the essential purpose of respiration, so oxygen supplementation is used in medicine. Treatment not only increases oxygen levels in the patient's blood, but has the secondary effect of decreasing resistance to blood flow in many types of diseased lungs, easing workload on the heart. Oxygen therapy is used to treat emphysema, pneumonia, some heart disorders, some disorders that cause increased pulmonary artery pressure, any disease that impairs the body's ability to take up and use gaseous oxygen. More recently, coronavirus patients have been treated using oxygen. Oxygen tents were once commonly used in oxygen supplementation, but have since been replaced mostly by the use of oxygen masks or nasal cannulas. High-pressure medicine uses special oxygen chambers to increase the partial pressure of O2 around the patient and, when needed, the medical staff. Carbon monoxide poisoning, gas gangrene, and decompression sickness are sometimes addressed with this therapy. Increased O2 concentration in the lungs helps to displace carbon monoxide from the hemoglobin. Oxygen gas is poisonous to the anaerobic bacteria that cause gas gangrene, so increasing its partial pressure helps kill them. Decompression sickness occurs in divers who decompress too quickly after a dive, resulting in bubbles of inert gas, mostly nitrogen and helium, forming in the blood. Increasing the pressure of O2 as soon as possible helps to redissolve the bubbles back into the blood so that these excess gases can be exhaled naturally through the lungs. Oxygen, as a mild euphoric, has a history of recreational use in oxygen bars and in sports. Oxygen bars are establishments found in the United States since the late 1990s that offer higher than normal O2 exposure for a fee. Professional athletes, especially in American football, sometimes go off-field between plays to don oxygen masks to boost performance. Available studies support a performance boost from oxygen-enriched mixtures only if it is breathed during aerobic exercise. Oxygen therapy is also known as supplemental oxygen and is the use of oxygen as a medical treatment. Acute indications for treatment can include low blood oxygen, carbon monoxide toxicity, and cluster headaches. It may also be given prophylactically to help maintain oxygen levels during the induction of anesthesia. Oxygen therapy is often useful in people with chronically low blood oxygen levels due to conditions such as cystic fibrosis. Oxygen can be delivered in a variety of ways, such as nasal cannula or face mask. Or it can be delivered in high-pressure conditions, such as a hyperbaric chamber. Oxygen is required for normal cellular metabolism. The medical use of oxygen first became common around 1917, and it is currently on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. Home oxygen can be provided either by oxygen tanks or oxygen concentrator. Oxygen therapy is believed to be the most common hospital treatment in the developed world. Oxygen is widely used by hospitals and first aid providers in a variety of conditions and settings. A few indications necessitating high-flow oxygen include resuscitation, major trauma, anaphylaxis, major bleeding, shock, active convulsions, and hypothermia. In the context of stroke, oxygen therapy is beneficial. Common conditions which may require use of supplementary oxygen include chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic bronchitis, and emphysema. Oxygen may also be prescribed for breathlessness, end-stage cardiac failure, respiratory failure, advanced cancer, or neurodegenerative disease in spite of relatively normal blood oxygen levels. Oxygen therapy has been shown as an aid for many human ailments, including AIDS, Alzheimer's disease, and cancer. Associated procedures may include injecting hydrogen peroxide, injecting oxygenating blood, or administering pressurized oxygen to the rectum, vagina, or other bodily openings. If breathing extra oxygen isn't enough to improve the oxygen level in the blood, oxygen under pressure can be used to help the movement of gases in and out of the lungs. This is given via a tightly fitting mask connected to a machine via plastic tubing. The patient remains awake, and doctors can control the pressure and amount of oxygen delivered by the machine. Oxygen therapy is in fact an umbrella term for a variety of medical treatments and strategies that focus on delivering oxygen into your body. This can range from breathing devices that aid your breathing to injections and blood treatments to increase oxygenation. Low oxygen in your blood can make you feel tired, confused, and short of breath. Ongoing low blood oxygen may also cause damage to tissue and organs. Some studies suggest that low oxygen may also contribute to the growth of tumors and the proliferation of cancer cells. Oxygen therapy offers a variety of health benefits and applications that can address specific problems and promote your overall health. It also appears in different forms, allowing for customized treatments to fit your specific needs. Oxygen makes up about 21% of the Earth's atmosphere. For the average person with healthy lungs, that is plenty of oxygen to maintain a healthy living. However, certain health conditions can prevent some people from getting enough oxygen from the air alone. There are numerous conditions that affect the lungs or otherwise may prevent you from getting enough oxygen to your blood, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, COVID-19, sleep apnea, cystic fibrosis, pneumonia, late-stage heart failure, severe asthma attacks. This is where oxygen therapy, in the form of supplemental oxygen, is a viable treatment option. Supplemental oxygen provides you with extra oxygen along with the air that you normally breathe. This concentrated oxygen can come from a tank of oxygen or via an oxygen concentrator, which pulls oxygen from the air. You then breathe the oxygen in through a mask, nose tubes, or a special tent that envelops you in oxygen. Supplemental oxygen therapy is highly flexible. It can be provided as short or long-term oxygen therapy, and it can be administered at home or in a healthcare setting. Oxygen tanks and oxygen concentrators are available in portable forms, allowing you to receive the therapy while going about your day. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is another treatment that involves breathing in pure oxygen inside a pressurized chamber. The concept of hyperbaric oxygen therapy is far from a new discovery. In fact, the earliest references to using increased air pressure to treat afflictions of the lung date back to 1662, when an Englishman named Henshaw used a pressurized room to treat health problems. Then, in 1834, the first true hyperbaric tank was built by a French iron shop under the direction of Dr. Janot. It was a copper sphere, 5 feet in diameter, with the appropriate viewpoints and compressed air fittings, and it became the center of attraction for many patients. He reported wonderful recovery from a variety of debilitating conditions in the Bulletin of the Academy of Medicine, and enthusiasm of hyperbaric oxygen therapy spread among the European countries over the next 40 years. By 1890, twin-lock chambers were in use during the Hudson River Project to treat Caisson's disease, which is a decompression syndrome. Then, during the 1900s, Dr. John S. Haldane further studied the effects of compressed oxygen and taught at the University of Dundee, developing the first diving tables for the Royal Navy. In 1918, Dr. Orville Cunningham considered the differences between people living or dying through the flu epidemic in the Rocky Mountains. He noticed people in the valley fared better than the people in the mountains and reasoned that the denser air in the valley helped people fight the infection better. He had a hyperbaric chamber built next to his medical clinic, and the positive outcomes he saw with patients suffering from pneumonia encouraged him to build other chambers. Just 10 years later, in 1928, Harvard Medical School had a hyperbaric chamber installed which provided a tool for years of research. Of course, the technology and our understanding of how the therapy works have come a very long way since then. We're now at the point where it has demonstrated an impeccable safety record, and it is increasingly common for hyperbaric oxygen therapy chambers to be purchased privately and installed in homes, spas, and gyms. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy benefits those with decompression sickness, burns, and more. Meanwhile, a variation of this called mild hyperbaric oxygen, but at a lower oxygen level. More research is being done to look into the potential benefits of oxygen therapy for cancer and how it reduces cancer symptoms. Studies suggest that tumor cells actually thrive in oxygen-starved environments. Low oxygen levels are believed to give tumor cells an advantage in proliferating and invading neighboring tissues and organs, allowing cancer cells to metastasize more easily. There are a variety of potential oxygen therapies for reducing cancer symptoms. Ozone therapy is one of the most common, and it comes in a variety of forms. So, what is ozone therapy? It involves delivering ozone into the body to increase oxygenation. Ozone is best known for the layer that makes up part of the Earth's stratosphere, but it is simply a compound comprising 3 oxygen atoms. The three main forms of ozone therapy are ozone UVB therapy, ozone hemotherapy, and ozone rectal insufflation. Ozone UVB therapy and ozone autohemotherapy both involve using samples of your own blood. With ozone UVB, a doctor removes some of your blood and exposes it to ultraviolet light. This causes an oxidative reaction that results in the formation of ozone in the blood. The blood is then re-injected into your body. With ozone autohemotherapy, the doctor simply injects ozone directly into a blood sample before reintroducing it into your bloodstream. Ozone rectal insufflation introduces ozone directly into your body via your rectum. Your rectal walls are porous and good at absorbing compounds. Inserting ozone into the rectum potentially allows for faster, more efficient absorption into the bloodstream via the rectal walls. Oxygen therapy supports healing, reduces the symptoms of certain illnesses, and promotes your general health. Oxygen therapy is a growing field, and its potential applications and benefits continue to expand with ongoing research. If you believe that you may benefit from oxygen therapy, consult your doctor to determine the best form of oxygen therapy for your needs. At the end of the day, oxygen is needed for life. Too much can kill. Too little can kill. As with most things in life, it is all about balance and the circumstances at the time. Many are now seeking out hyperbaric oxygen therapy for more than just health reasons. Beauty, fitness, mental agility, and more are now all parts of the oxygen therapy world. But what is hyperbaric oxygen therapy? This involves breathing pure oxygen at higher than atmospheric pressures in an enclosed chamber. This process causes oxygen to be absorbed by all body fluids and by all body cells and tissues. Even those with blocked or reduced blood flow. This increased flow of oxygen stimulates and restores function to damaged cells and organs, including those of the liver and brain. The air we normally breathe contains around 21% oxygen and 78% nitrogen, with the remaining 1% being contributed by the noble gases and carbon dioxide. The concentration of these gases is determined by the atmospheric pressure, which is determined by the weather and is reduced at altitude. Often the variations in this pressure are ignored in general medical practice. A hyperbaric chamber is needed to allow the pressure around the body to be increased. The technology is very well established. In fact, all commercial aircraft are hyperbaric chambers equipped with oxygen breathing systems. When tissues are damaged, the capillaries within the tissues are also damaged, which increases the distances for oxygen to diffuse. This can lead to a severe oxygen deficit in the tissues, even when the amount of oxygen carried in the blood is normal. The object of using the increase in pressure and oxygen concentration is to raise tissue oxygen values towards normal to initiate normal cellular repair mechanisms. In fact, oxygen, like glucose and water, is an essential substrate. Increasing oxygen levels at specific levels helps tissues to mend faster. It is a relatively new science, but it is showing great results, and much more research is needed to finely tune the process and to spread it to more and more areas of human health. The fact remains that your body's tissues need an adequate supply of oxygen to function. When tissue is injured, it requires even more oxygen to survive. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy increases the amount of oxygen your blood can carry. With repeated scheduled treatments, the temporary extra high oxygen levels encourage normal tissue oxygen levels, even after the therapy is completed. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is used to treat several medical conditions, and medical institutions use it in different ways. This therapy has been shown to help with all manner of conditions, including severe anemia, brain abscess, bubbles of air in your blood vessels, burns, carbon monoxide poisoning, crushing injury, deafness, decompression sickness, gangrene, infection of skin or bone that causes tissue death, non-healing wounds such as a diabetic foot ulcer, radiation injury, skin graft or skin flap at risk of tissue death, traumatic brain injury, vision loss, sudden and painless. Any trauma or injury that damages the walls of the blood vessels leads to leakage of blood in tissue spaces, resulting in swelling. Together, These two deprive the cells of oxygenation, and the tissue starves to death. Introducing hyperbaric oxygen in this situation not only improves the oxygenation of tissue, but also reduces the swelling, thus preventing cell death. Hyperoxygenation is also found to increase the rate of wound closure up to 70% in cases of chronic wounds. It has also been shown to decrease the risks of infection by detoxifying the body of harmful toxins produced by infectious agents. It also increases the oxygen concentration in the tissues, which helps them resist infection. It strengthens the activity of leukocytes, that are the white blood cells to fight any developing infections or free radicals. It stimulates the formation of new blood vessels by encouraging the release of growth factors from existing cells. It also enhances the production of collagen that is essential for strengthening newly formed skin and blood vessels. It is associated with recruiting the stem cells, which are special cells that have the potential to divide and replicate. The use of hyperbaric oxygen therapy has also been extended to manage mental illnesses. These include PTSD, autism spectrum disorder, memory problems, and Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, anxiety and depression, and attention problems. Alcohol and substance abuse are linked with chronic suppression of neurotransmitters in the brain. Therefore, when an individual suddenly stops using these addictive agents, the brain floods back with the previously suppressed neurotransmitters, resulting in withdrawal symptoms. The fear of withdrawal is one of the most important reasons why people with addiction have difficulty in detoxification. Similarly, long-term substance abuse is associated with cellular damage in the brain due to poor blood perfusion. These damaged cells further hinder the process of detoxification. Oxygen therapy comes into play by effectively increasing the blood circulation in the brain and by adequately perfusing the damaged cells to accelerate the process of detoxification with as few withdrawal symptoms as possible. The increased oxygen absorption reduces the half-life of toxic substances in the brain, along with expediting the healing process. Therefore, oxygen therapy has been acknowledged as a safe and effective measure to treat addiction. A study followed 340 patients with complaints of substance abuse in two groups, with one on medicinal therapy and others on both medicinal and hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It was observed that participants with exposure to hyperbaric oxygenation demonstrated more favorable results in terms of reduced treatment duration needed, with the development of fewer complications. Hyperbaric chambers are used to treat various chronic brain diseases, including drug addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, depression, anxiety, and trauma. The use of hyperbaric chamber therapy in healing and wellness centers proves to be imperative. An increase of oxygen in the human body also helps improve athletic performance. with many athletes seeking hyperbaric chamber therapy for endurance, injury recovery, and pain relief. The therapy also has rejuvenating and anti-aging properties. Oxygen stimulates collagen production and skin elasticity. It can eliminate toxins, which repairs damaged skin. Furthermore, it is commonly used for post-cosmetic treatment to speed up recovery, help with bruising, swelling, and scarring. Oxygen can promote general health and wellness by increasing energy, boosting the immune system, relieving pain and stress, helping regulate sleeping patterns, improving mental functions, as well as providing restorative relaxation and rejuvenating effects. Hyperbaric chamber therapy allows the body to regenerate cells and increase blood flow, so it can heal naturally and completely. There has to be oxygen for there to be life as we know it. As we move forward as a species, we need to understand that this essential life-giving and purifying substance holds many more secrets.